One of the features that makes Laravel a real joy to work with is its built-in logging functionality. This can be a real boon if we're trying to troubleshoot a problem in production because we can safely log information about running processes without it really affecting our users. The downside is if we have a lot of concurrent requests, we'll have a hard time making sense of it, but thankfully there are ways to get around this. In this video, we'll discuss how to use Laravel's Log Facade to troubleshoot problems with our applications. Hello developers and welcome to the PHP Architect channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Scott Keck-Warren, and on this channel we discuss a wide variety of topics related to the PHP ecosystem. Make sure you subscribe so you can get our latest videos when they're published. Laravel provides the Illuminate Support Facades log class to help us log information in our requests. Now, one of the most basic functionalities that the log facade provides are several static functions that provide different levels of logging. We can use these to express different levels of interest into what we're interested in. So emergency level problems that need immediate focus can bubble to the top, while info or debug ones might never be looked at. By default, Laravel stores our log data into the storage logs laravel.log file. As you can see, each level of static function really only affects the text on the line of logging by default. This can be used later to filter out just specific information that you might want to see. As part of the built-in logging features, we can also log information about the request that will be added to the log line so we can view it. For example, if we wanted to output the user ID, we could do the following. Laravel's logging feature is very simple, but it also allows for a lot of control over where we send our logged information. Laravel uses classes called drivers that allow us to specify where the logs get stored. Laravel supports logging to files, a syslog server, and even Slack using drivers that come with the default setup. We can also add third-party drivers to log to other solutions. We can configure our default driver by editing the config/logging.php file, and then we can edit the line that looks like the following, or we can change our .env file. We can then define various channels using the channels key. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I use these alternative channels? The solution is as easy as setting the channel when we log our information. The daily channel uses the daily driver, so our logged entry will actually end up in the storage logs directory with a file name based on the date that the log was entered. For example, when I wrote this, the data was stored into storage logs Laravel 2024-11-24. We prefer to use the daily driver as the default in production because it will automatically rotate the file after a set number of days, so we don't have a log file that's tens or hundreds of gigabytes in size. I am, of course, speaking from personal experience. A great way to troubleshoot problems in production is actually create our own channel so we can log information about a specific problem or situation into its own log file to make it easier to troubleshoot. We can create a channel on the fly inside of our code by using the build function. We can also do this inside of the configuration. Now that we've understood the basics, we can use the logs to solve a problem. The simplest way to do this is to use the tail command to watch the log file. Then, as items are logged into the system, they'll show in the terminal for us to view. Now, one of the downsides to how the logging system works is that by default, all of the requests are kind of mixed together. We could log the user ID in every request, but it could get messy as well. Thankfully, Laravel allows us to specify information that's logged with every request by using the log with context function. A good solution is to generate a UUID for the request and then set it in a service provider, so then every logged entry has that UUID. Then we can use our logging calls as normal, and then inside of our log, our UUID will display it on every line. We can then use grep to find just the entries for one request. This process is particularly helpful because we can create a UUID for every request and then display it on our application's error page. And then when a user reports a problem, we have that information to look through the logs. As a brief recap, Laravel ships with a fully featured logging facade. We can use it to troubleshoot problems in production and in our development environments. We can also use tail and grep to make it easier to find the information that we're looking for. I hope you enjoyed our video. If so, make sure you subscribe, comment, share, and like, as it does help others find us. Are there topics you'd like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below, or send me a message on phpc.social @ScottKeck-Warren. I love to hear how I can help you, and it is always great to hear from a fan. This is Scott Keck-Warren for the PHP Architect channel signing off, and reminding you to keep watching, keep coding, and keep reading.